team in the motherfucking house.
No question. Man, it feels good to hear you say that, man. What's going on, family?
You know what I mean?
So for those that don't know, of course, this is the Tissue and the Tape podcast. I'm Davis Backwards, and who are you? State your name, gangster.
You already know, man. It's Philmatic 365, a.k.a. Golden Child.
All right, man, let's get to it. So we are definitely honored to actually have a guest on the line with us today, a friend of a friend who hopefully by the end of this conversation will be a friend of the show and a friend of our movement as well. Philmatic, please let the audience know who we're going to be having a conversation with tonight.
Is Brooklyn in the house?
Without a doubt.
I mean, man, I don't know, Vibe, man. It's like we got this little love affair with Brooklyn. Everybody from Sky to Tor to Ivy. I mean, RJ. Yo, we just do this, but man, you already know what we about. This is the home of the MC, and we respect Heat as the Heat Holderz, man. Is nothing better than quality hip hop music. So when my life coach Torre hit me and was like, "Yo, I got somebody you should check out," say no more. In fact, say less, and that's exactly what I did, man. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. As I mentioned, straight from Brooklyn, Coney Island to be exact. We on with my homie, man, my newfound friend, Kil Ripkin. What's up?
What it is, Philmatic. Tissue and the Tape family. What's good with y'all, man? I appreciate y'all having me on tonight. Real talk, man.
No doubt.
And we are indeed planting the seed, you know, to further this family, man. So I just got some new brothers tonight. Salute to y'all.
Man, appreciate that, man.
Word up.
Phil, we first were introduced, so it seems like we had seen the name before, right? And it was like, okay, like
Absolutely.
Internal Affairs. Anytime we see anything that's IA related, like I said, just based off of our relationship with Tor, gotta check it out automatically. So you know, it was more of a introduction into not only the project that we're gonna get into, but just more so just your career altogether. So what we like to do on our show, when we first have a guest on for the first time, we like to get into the origin story.
Yes.
Much like, you know, Marvel, we're big Marvel fans, and you know, just trying to just get into what was the impetus, or what was the bite from the radioactive spider that made you get your superpowers.
Man, that's pressure from out the gate, but don't. I mean, you know, Brooklyn, straight up, man. Me just being from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Big up to the Bronx. That's the birthplace of hip hop. Brooklyn was where I believe that, that true essence took place. You know what I mean? And I was a youngin' at the time. I was highly influenced, you know, by the Slick Ricks, the Rakims, the Ultramagnetics. And basically, I just started writing at an early age. And the passion just grew and just grew. I started to, you know, I actually was a producer at first, still produce, but I was more heavily into producing than I was emceeing, although I did MC from the gate, which is how I linked up with Tor. But that first spider bite, man, just came from being in the right place at the right time when hip hop started to grow and influence our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? I was just like every other young black, you know, kid from the hood that was influenced by it. I just took it a little further than others. And actually, you know, music was in my veins from the start, really, man. I mean, I can go back to just the albums that my parents had in the house. Those influenced me, to be honest, way before I started penning any type of rhyme, because it was that music that, you know, allowed me to know or realize what soul was. So if you listen to my music now, that influence is still there, the soul. I gotta have the soul in my music. So I would even, before I say just being in Brooklyn, I would say that the albums, and you know what I'm saying, that my parents had. That.
What albums?
Man,
anyone in particular?
I mean, you know, the Marvin Gayes, the Otis Reddings.
Yes.
The you know what I'm saying, the Aretha Franklins, you know, anything Donny Hathaway, anything that had that soul in it. You know what I'm saying? I was playing it or I was listening to it. You know, I was eavesdropping in the house. And so when I started to, you remember we used to pause the tapes and make our beats. So when I started doing that, that was influenced by those albums. You know what I'm saying? When I started pausing beats and looping them like that. So yeah, man. I mean, just I would have to say Brooklyn and just being around good music.
Now, the one of the things that fascinates us, especially us non-New Yorkers, is just the simple fact when you look at the birthplace being the Bronx, but you also just look at, you know, the number of MCs that have come from the respective boroughs. Mm-hmm. And although the Bronx has definitely held it down in terms of the lineage and the history that they've been able to bring to us, without a doubt, man, like when you just look at Brooklyn, even when you just look at sections, whether you're talking about Bed-Stuy, whether you're talking about Brownsville, you're talking about CI, like it's not just the borough, it's not just Kings County, like it's not just Kings County, it's like sections
of the borough. It's
like
crazy.
That's Crown Heights,
right? Exactly. Like that's the part that's just so fascinating about it. And that feeling, like just from a very young age, we were able to recognize that, like, wait, before we even visited there through the music, we realized, oh wait, like you guys got different bridges, you got you know, like
right. So which that's what led to a lot of the competitive spirit in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as an MC out the gate, you had to have no fear. You know what I mean? Because at any moment, you could be in Flatbush, you could be in Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, East New York. Right. You know what I mean? And anywhere you go, you're gonna run into some MCs, and there could be a little situation where you have to, you know, show and prove. So Brooklyn was just that borough, man. Like they say, it's a planet. It's like a planet out there. And you know, coming from Coney Island, where we were kind of isolated from Brooklyn, we were like, even though we were Brooklyn, you know, we were considered like how would I say, like a stepchild, because we were like the last stop on the train. You know what I'm saying? We was just away from the other sections of Brooklyn. That even made us more hungrier. You know what I'm saying? And you could definitely hear that in Tor's music. Yeah. And a lot of other brothers that's from that area that's doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all the Warriors, man. Like that's my first. That's the first time I remember remember knowing about Coney Island was the Warriors movie, where they had to get back they had to get back there.
That's what it is. It was a journey getting back, you know, home. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the last stop. You know, it's like a 2-hour ride from some places. You know what I'm saying? So that Warrior music definitely represented our spirit and our drive to just, you know, make it home and be who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Phil, so when you hit play, I'm gonna ask you first, and then we're gonna talk to Kil about that. When you hit play and you just got into the latest project that we're gonna talk about, you know, we tend to get a little tongue tied. So, you know, guys like us, we barely can pronounce, you know, medulla oblongata. You know, so,
hey, man, you know, I'll let you do all the language speaking parts.
We had heard it. We obviously have heard that before, and of course with the artwork, we were able to kind of digest what it was. But Kil, talk to us about that. Like, what does that actually really mean? What were you trying to convey to us about medulla oblongata rap?
Right. Well, you know, man, like I was telling Phil before we actually went live, you know, this is my first project in about 4.5, maybe 5 years, real talk. So in between that time, man, I just, you know, I elevated in another chamber, so to speak, in my life where, you know, you still got to do what you got to do to make things happen. So, pardon that. In between that time, man, I had to make a decision whether I wanted to, you know, do this music or not. And so when it became time to do that, I had to figure out what direction I wanted to go and how I wanted to convey that to the people, because it's been such a gap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm gonna be honest, like, you know, although I'm, you know, I would say I'm known in certain circles and areas within the music, you know, platform, there's a lot of people who don't know of me, you understand? So for a person, it was like me coming out for the first time. So I wanted this project to have like a shock and awe, so to speak. You know what I mean? So the title Medulla Oblongata one of my teachers, metaphysical teachers, he used to say that the medulla oblongata was the mouth of God. You know what I'm saying? Because everything generates first from your medulla. All of your ideas, your feelings, your passions, everything comes from your medulla first, and then it proceeds, through the other chambers, and then you convey it out verbally. So I was like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? As an MC, what better title than the mouth of God? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like as melanated men, we all are in that spirit of God. You know what I'm saying? So then I had to figure out how I wanted to convey and what I wanted to convey. So, pretty much you get in my lifestyle. I live as a Moorish American. So, pretty much each song represents that. But I still was conscious enough to keep it hip hop so I don't lose the old fans, let alone, the new people that are being introduced to me. You know what I'm saying? So even though I wanted to convey my lifestyle, I still had to keep it hip hop, not too preachy and too corny, where it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm trying to, tell people how to live their lives, so to speak. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Medulla Oblongata, the M.O.R album, you know what I'm saying? To paraphrase it, it's just a synopsis of my last 5 years in my life, what I've been up to. And it's all coming from, that medulla, the mouth of God. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth.
There you go. Now as grown men in this hip hop, culture, do you feel like we have a responsibility? I know you mentioned some of your older music and your career, and then there being just a brief pause in between the two. There's a gap there, but is it safe to say you were basically handling your business in between that gap, and it was more so like did rap call you back, or was it something to where you're like what brought you back to really grab a hold of your career again?
Man, like I've been in such a deep chamber as far as like other things in my life. How would I say it? I do a lot of community work. I do a lot of political work, what I'm saying, on the private side. And so I got so engulfed in that, I kind of got lost, and I kind of was feeling, I wouldn't say ill, but like something was missing in my life. I got really, I had a real sour taste in my mouth for the whole music scene and industry. I'm just such a purist when it comes to music, the way it was going. I'm such a realist when it comes to music, where it was going and how I view things in the world. It just was in disaccord with me. So I was convincing myself that I didn't need music no more. But at the same time, I wasn't feeling like myself, you know what I mean? And then the love that I get, man, every city that I go to, real true Kil Ripkin fans constantly ask me for my music. And, we can be humble to a fault, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I realized that something was missing, and I couldn't pinpoint it until I started recording again. You know what I'm saying? I started recording again. And then when the idea of the album came about, and then what really set it off was me and Tor sat down, because again, it was who I was going to do this project with. You know what I'm saying? Either I was going to do it myself, or I was going to link with somebody who I could trust, and we see things the same way and we can make it happen. So it was no better person when me and Tor was like, let's do it. And he had the time and green lighted the project. That's what really catapulted me in the studio. And once I linked up with the producers that I wanted to work with, which is pretty much the same team up until this point, it was a go from there, man. But it was just that void. It was just that void, because I had a real strong distaste for the music and the whole industry and how fake it is and this, that, and the third.
Feel you.
But the three of us on this line tonight, you know what I'm saying, we all have a talent and we all have a purpose within the music, and we cannot ever feel like that we can't be a part of that for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? We always got to maintain that position that we have, because it's so fragile. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine you guys shut your show down. You know what I'm saying? That's a void for, MCs like myself to, get my message across. You know what I'm saying? So we all have a part to play. And once I realized that, you know what I'm saying? Once I realized that, Tor need me in the game still. You know what I'm saying? Sky need me in the game still. You know what I'm saying? Countless of other MCs, that I, public, here in Charlotte and abroad, in Brooklyn, wherever it is, man, everybody's counting on everybody to play their position. And once I really realized that again, that hunger came back. And then there's nothing to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Once the flame is lit, it's on. So, you know, you know, that's basically it, man. It's just
that's a good answer.
That void, man. I really was feeling sick.
Yeah.
Damn, something's not right. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, when you got your family on the same page with you, you know, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And talk about that, man. What part did you said you got down with Tor? What part did he play in you bringing Medulla Oblongata rap?
Yeah. Yes.
Bringing it out.
Yeah. Well, again, because I was like this. I wasn't going to just put out music for the sake of putting it out. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, it takes money to make money and all of those cliches. The music industry, so to speak, if we want to call it that, is totally different today. It's different from 5 years ago when I had my last project out. It's just moving that quick. So you know, when we sat down, we always talked about, I felt like I've always been part of internal affairs. You see, me and Tor came full circle. I produced his first demo he ever did. And now we come back full circle and he's putting out, I'm the first album that he's putting out on his imprint. You feel me? Yeah. So we just felt like it was time, man. You know, I watched him grow as a man, as an artist. He's watched me grow as a man, as an artist, and as his big bro. I've mentored him, and we just feel like, you know, he's giving it back, and there's no other person that I would have probably done this with but him, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that, you know, me and Tor's relationship, we go way back. The trust is there. You know, you gotta have trust these days. You know what I'm saying? You gotta trust the person that you're working with. You gotta trust the person that you're doing business with. So, like I said, it was easy. It was easy, man. If it wasn't internal affairs, I probably would have did it myself. Or, you know, I got a lot of other people who's doing this too. But I felt like it was only right because, like I said, me producing his first demo and then him coming around and I'm being his first album that he puts out on his imprint. Man, that's divine right there.
Okay. Now, obviously, when we hear your name, Kil Ripkin, automatically, you know, for people, you know, that are into sports, it might harken back to, you know, a certain gentleman that was known as the Iron Man.
That's right.
Talk to us about your name and you know, just what it actually means.
Yeah, he definitely inspired the name somewhat because of the Iron Man status and him being consistent. So that was one of the things that I wanted to be known for. I wanted to be consistent. Every project, every rhyme you hear me is going to be dope. You know what I'm saying? I might not be put ahead of certain other brothers or other MCs who, you know, people might consider the best or whatever. But every time you hear Kil Ripkin's song or verse or beat, it's going to be consistently dope. So he inspired it in that aspect, but I didn't get the name from him. I mean, in Coney Island, they called me Kil. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the Ripkin part came, even though it was inspired by Kil Ripkin. Ripkin part is actually an acronym for Rhyme and Peace for my kinfolk.
Nice.
Nice.
So you had Kil, which was the name that I was called in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then it's Rhyme and Peace for my kinfolk. So that's where Ripkin come from. But to, you know, on some real, the Kil Ripkin was inspired by the Iron Man status and him being just, you know, 2000 and whatever straight. Yeah. That's how I wanted people to remember me. Like, damn, there never was a moment where he put out anything whack or lackluster. So I try to be consistent in that aspect in accord with that name.
Now we're deep into names, so don't get it twisted. We know you, like you said, you came to keep it peaceful.
Yeah, man.
We both are, you know, Phil and I, we're both from, you know, certain areas. Obviously, you're from Brooklyn. Anybody with the
Philly, bro, so you know what it is.
But look, anybody with the nickname that was given to them that's Kil, they're a serious brother. There's somebody you should pay attention to when they start talking. So, So yeah, so that automatically tells us
and as the saying goes, Brooklyn keeps on taking it. So we just gonna leave it there.
We'll leave it at that. We understand.
It was 3 brothers from Coney Island, and they was some real thorough brothers, well respected brothers, and they gave me that name.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can really get a nickname is when somebody else give it to you.
Exactly.
Indeed, bro. So,
yeah, you can't play off P your situation. You can't give yourself the nickname.
and truthfully, other people wouldn't even call you that if they didn't feel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And say that I was on some killer, whatever. Right. You know, it was definitely, it was just thorough living. You feel me?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No, we can tell. Like I said, we real recognize real, and like you say, when you say you got that from the neighborhood, and somebody actually gave you that, that's commendable, man. Especially with a rap moniker. So,
no doubt. Yeah, like my first name was Killer Storm. Like when I was doing beats for tour and all that, I was Killer Storm.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the Killer became Kill because I didn't want to be walking around saying my name is Killer. And then it worked too because people thought my name was Shaquille, for short.
Okay, got you.
My name is actually Akil. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Okay, got you. Okay. So all right. So we're kind of progressing. We talked about the album a little bit. We talked about your return to it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question that's kind of 2 parts, and then I'm gonna let Phil ask his too. But I'm curious, man. In 2018, where we are right now, there's so many different facets to a career in hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could be someone that actually puts people on, or you could be someone that puts yourself on, or you could be someone that's behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I consider Tor and the whole IA movement to be kind of in that lane to where obviously he's putting out his projects truly independent.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to, keep his artists in the situation he's aligning him with to be truly independent as well. Mm-hmm. And you look at the things that he's doing, it's not just about bars. He's hosting, he's DJing. He just recently launched
113 jobs.
Right. He recently launched a podcast with his daughter.
Indeed.
So there's so many things that individuals like him are showing us that that you can do in hip hop without actually getting on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
With that being the case, what is considered a win to you, for you and your brand, for you and your movement moving forward in the next few years? Like what do you want to essentially accomplish? Obviously consistency is the main goal, and to stay true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you would consider to be a win along with those ideals being maintained?
Now, I've said this before that was the best question I've ever heard, but this one tops all of them. That was probably the best question, bro, because I've never been asked that. So to really look at that, I mean, there's a major void in hip hop as far as teaching and influencing our people, our young women and men, and adults alike. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that is in the that is connected to hip hop, to the essence of hip hop. There's a void missing where the teaching is happening. Now, I'm not talking about finger pointing and trying to act like you're better than someone else, but there was an era or point in our hip hop evolution where there was teaching going on over dope beats, dope rhyming, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that has been taken away. So I see, like I said, I do a lot of political work. So, I do a lot of work for humanity, you know what I'm saying, throughout the country, you know what I'm saying, for human rights and rights of the people, true rights, you know what I'm saying? So when I came back, I was like, how can I further, it's almost like it's the theme music to what I'm trying to do. And what I'm trying to do is uplift fallen humanity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, my music, man, I get people that call me from all over the world, you know what I'm saying? And they tell me how my music touches them. And that's the most incredible thing to me, because that's exactly what I want my music to do. I want my music to heal. You know what I'm saying? I want my music to heal. I want you to feel pain from it, but that pain is going to heal you. I want you to be happy. That happiness is going to heal you. So, you know, and I constantly think about that, bro. So that's a good question. I constantly think about that. Like, how can my music make a difference? So each time I write a song or album or project, I'm very conscious of that. And I've done just that with this M.O.R album, and I intend to do it on further projects so that now I can hold, you know, lectures in front of thousands of students in college, where not only that I'm, you know, educating them on many things, they're also getting the music to come with it. You know what I'm saying? Because everything needs a rhythm of music. Without music, there'd be no life. You know what I'm saying? So music is equivalent to breath. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. We all came here to a rhythm of music. So, you know, if the music stops, it's almost like the breath stops. So basically, man, I just want to heal with my music. I want to influence. I want to have other young MCs. Like, I want to hear some young brothers rhyming like Kil Ripkin. Not trying to be me, but I want to see their approach to be like that. And because I you know, I don't regret anything, but in retrospect, I wish I would have been on this mission a lot earlier and younger in life.
Sure.
You know, everything is in timing, and this is the perfect time now. So that means someone, you know, younger than me or that's coming behind me is going to be the one that's going to do that. So to answer your question, bro, I mean, I really just, you know, 5 years from now, I see my music being, you know, something that they're using in colleges. You know what I'm saying? That they're doing theses on. Real talk. Like you listen to this M.O.R album, and the real essence of where I'm going with this album, where I start from the fall of man, and I take you all the way up to our elevated God King self. That's a thesis right there. You could write a book. You could teach a class on that. That's what I'm trying to do, man, because the era of hip hop being just for partying is over. The days of just partying are over, because we're moving in a time in this world where work has to get done. You know what I'm saying? And the work has to be done, you know, over music. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that's a dope question. I hope I answered that to the.
You did, to the fullest. You did. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Indeed.
Now, when I heard the album, one of the feels I got right off and it's funny like how you explained it, you know, from the fall of man up to the rise. I got the death certificate feel. So when you know,
that's a big compliment, bro.
No, but that's what I got, because you had like, you know, all right, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is where we're here and this is where we're going, but this is where we should be and this is where we can go. So that's how like, and it progressed that way and naturally. And it was funny because we constantly talk about music all the time. So we just did an episode on 1988. So we talk about Ice Cube, and we talk about, you know, Straight Outta Compton, then America's Most, and then Death Certificate was like the almost like the best of both, where you kind of got, you know, you got Gangsta Ice Cube, but you got, you know, there's more, this bigger, you know. I hate conscious because it gets used, it gets misused so bad. But yes, for lack of a better term, conscious. Ice Cube. So, but that's what I got from this, like somebody who's seen some things and, you know, knows there's more out there for us as a people. So I definitely had to commend you on there, because one of the things that I find when you try to show somebody something different, not you specifically, but just in general, it shows just that. It doesn't show where we are. And I think that's hugely important, because it's hard to relate to some place unless you can see that somebody's can understand where you are at your current point. You know, or you get the exact opposite, where it's just only where we are right now and nothing. So what I'm saying all that to say that this album was a perfect balance in my mind of showing you where we are and where we can be and where we should be going. Right. So I just wanted to commend you on that. I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to commend you on that.
I appreciate that, bro. That's exactly how I painted it out.
Oh, nice. Well then,
exactly how I painted it out, man. I tried to paint a picture a relatable picture too. You know what I'm saying? Even though, you know, I was speaking a certain language because it's my lifestyle. I said it in a way that you brothers can understand too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it can open the door to other conversations and other bills, you know what I'm saying, that we can have in the future for sure, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I try not to be too preachy, man, because I started off as a pure MC, you know what I'm saying? And as I grew and got knowledge of self, my music changed naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like as I got knowledge of self, I couldn't talk about street stuff anymore because that wasn't my lifestyle. So the M.O.R album is pretty much a mirror of my lifestyle, and I try to do it in a way that was relatable and it could be felt as hip hop, not something that, you know, I'm trying to, you know, because I hear a lot of, you know, again, we're going to use that conscious word, but I hear a lot of conscious rappers, man, who just sound like, you know, I don't know, like they reading a book or something, you know. You know, like they try too hard to sound too smart. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything. I love where I come from. I love that grimy gutterness. You know what I'm saying? I still appreciate all that, even though, you know, I live in accord with my higher self. I still love that grimy, you know what I'm saying? Because we come from that. And so you're still going to hear that in some of my music. You know, so I had a good friend ask me last night on the phone. He was like, well, how do you explain to your fans when they hear a song from me that's not, you know, conscious, so to speak? Like say I do a street record. And he said, do you think they will like that? And I said, yes and no. Like a lot of the old fans who know that, you know, I was out there, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's him. And now he's this. And then the new fans who don't know that I was out there like that probably wouldn't understand that. But then again, like you said, real recognize real. You could feel it in the music. Yeah. So you know right away when somebody's real and when they're not, especially over music, because music exposes that through the tones. That's how deep it is.
Yeah, exactly. But I definitely wanted to say, you said when you were a true MC, you still are. I mean, the project speaks for itself because I'm gonna be so serious, and Vod knows we wouldn't be talking to you if we didn't feel you were a dope MC.
Man, yo, salute to y'all, bro. And I mean that because, like I said, so imagine y'all weren't here to do this. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have the platform to know who's really dope out here, because if you see the social media, and I don't really try to pay too much attention, but when I do peek in, it's like horrible because the that they giving attention to is not real. You feel me? Yeah. And I feel
you gotta navigate real. It's out there. You just gotta.
The underground went even lower. like we were underground and we went even lower. You know, it's still underground, but it's like you gotta go lower, and that's okay because there's still, you know, like Freddie Fox just put out a dope album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this has been an incredible year in hip hop to me. Yeah. It's almost reminiscent of when in the 90s or the early 2000s, where in a year you can get 10 to 15 dope albums.
Yeah, I put out an incredible project.
I was honored to usher the year off. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of great reviews. One of them was even like an album of the year. You know, this was early in the year. Since then, it's been Black Thought just put out a bomb album. You know what I'm saying? Scott put out one this year. We can go on and on. Yeah, this is incredible. Yeah, look at the list. Look at the list, the lineup that you guys interviewed this year. Right. That tells you how dope this year has been so far, and we only halfway through it.
And we definitely got to give a shout out to Planet Asia. He was our last guest on the show.
Shout out, salute to that brother right there. He's one of the dopest.
PA Medallions, what up?
Yeah, but
let's link up and put some work, and I would love to work with that brother, man.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Word up.
But yeah, like there are some parallels in terms of the type of music, you know, that he's making and what you're doing as well. Yeah. Definitely that knowledge itself. When we hear MCs like that, it gives us a feeling that we've been missing, just because when you look at the most popular brand of the 90s, I'm gonna say it right now, you know, even though, you know, NWA was kind of, you know, into the 90s, Death Row and everything, there's no more popular brand in the 90s than Wu-Tang Clan. And what were they based around? Knowledge of self.
Right.
Even Dirty. Brooklyn
Dirty. Dirty did it to the highest degree.
Exactly.
You know? And that's a whole nother conversation, but he did it to the highest degree.
Exactly.
But the thing that made Wu successful was that all of those brothers had knowledge of self and they came from the gutter.
Yes.
Talking about real street brothers. You talking about real soldiers. So when like brothers like us hear that music, we could relate. That's why when people who listen to Wu-Tang now, I'm like, it's impossible because y'all cannot really, y'all don't even understand the language they speaking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they so dope that that rhythm and that they put out, that vibration that they put out can resonate to anybody, even if you didn't run the streets and sell drugs and bust guns and all the stuff that they talked about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they made it for hip hoppers, especially young guys, to be able to do exactly what hip hop does, and that's take something and repurpose it. So when I hear Rainy Days, I'm not applying that to me going out and, you know, saving up for a drought. I'm applying that to, man, like, I'm not trying to work this 9 to 5. What do I need to do to hustle to better my situation? You know, so when we listen to music like that and the music that raised us, it didn't raise us to go bust our gun. You know, like feeling we're two nerds.
Right.
But
I'm a rap nerd, man. I don't want no problems.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. So, but what it did was it told us to stand up for ourselves, to be convicted in who we are, and also, like, you know, have knowledge of self and be able to know who you are, whether you're reading lessons, whether you're not, you still need to know who you are as a man and, you know, where you want to go.
Well,
exactly.
You know, that was needed though, Vibes. That was needed because the 90s, man, was a scary time. Anybody that lived through the 90s.
I try to explain it to people.
When you had to go to clubs like the Tunnel and things like that, it was just in the streets alone, it was a scary time. So I knew, just as a visionary, you know what I'm saying, I knew I could feel where we were going, and there was no way that could maintain. So you see that fizzled out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we went into, you know, now we in a very weird place in hip hop. But I salute brothers like y'all because you see, and I know by a long shot, you guys are not soft, because you can't be soft in this industry. You know what I'm saying? You can't be soft talking to the individuals that you talk to as a man. But we needed brothers like y'all to actually clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everyone in the game at some point was on a thug vibration, was on a street vibration, from managers, you feel me, to engineers.
Right.
So you would go to a studio and get robbed. So we needed the nerd, or whatever you want to call it, the good-hearted brothers, or just brothers who loved hip hop and wanted to preserve it and keep it and make it safe again. And that's what you brothers did. You made it safe again. You made it so that we can get back to the rhymes and the beats, put the guns down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why now very few people can do that type of music. You know, very, very few people can do that street music because it was preserved that way. You know what I'm saying? So now when you see, you know, it's only like the only new guys I know that's really doing it on that high level is Westside and Conway.
Yeah. Shout out to Griselda, man.
Griselda, man, they doing it in a major way.
I just got something from them, so definitely shout out to them, man.
Man, big shout out to them brothers. If you close your eyes and listen to their shit, you would think you was in the 90s.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, like they really studied that and really lived that. You can tell they lived it.
Yeah, and they're from Buffalo, and my wife is from upstate New York, and I know a couple people from Buffalo. It feels like their music. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like when you hear music, it feels like the place that they, you know, like you hear Outkast, it feels like Atlanta. You hear Snoop, it feels like Long Beach.
Yeah.
You hear they shit, it feels like Buffalo, yo. It's cold.
No, it's like M.O.R in Brooklyn. It's
exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Brownsville, yo.
Yeah, man. It's so shout out to them brothers, man, because they definitely took what, you know, brothers like Prodigy left behind and taking the baton and running with it. And not everybody can do that, like I said. So, I salute, again, brothers like y'all who actually had to really come at this game, because they started to be afraid of us, man. So like, how was we gonna make money if they're afraid of us? You feel what I mean?
And if they was afraid, they're afraid of me. And like I said, I don't want no problems. It says invisible bully. That's I mean. Right. But so I already know, like the dudes that was really out there, I already know how it was for them.
Right.
But I want to switch gears a little bit, man, because I gotta ask you those generic questions that we just, as hip hop nerds, we need to know. So we got a little thing that we do. We call tit for tat. Mm-hmm. It's a quick. It's either you answer this question or you answer this one.
Mm-hmm.
So we there's no wrong answer.
Okay.
So we just gonna get right to it. So Vibe, check this out, Vibe. If I say Soul Brother #1 Pete Rock, you say
Houston Texans' own Christopher Martin, aka DJ Premier, Kil. Who? If you had to choose between the two, Pete Rock or Primo?
Ooh, Primo. Well, man, hold on.
Look,
it gets everybody.
Yeah, it gets everybody. People do that with Pete Rock too. They be like, Pete Rock. Oh,
yeah, see, because Pete is incredible, and I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. CL Smooth is the one MC that influenced me.
Okay.
Great deal.
Shout out to CL, the dope MC.
Yeah, aside from Biggie, I say that CL definitely, I studied the CL Smooth book. And that was because of the beats that Pete Rock laid for him too. So it's kind of hard. But being from Brooklyn and having that consistent Brooklyn sound, I'm gonna go with Primo. Like if I can choose somebody to do an album with right now, I would go with Primo because we'll be on that Brooklyn bullshit. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt.
So I'm gonna say Primo, but man, Pete, you right there, bro, because I would love to be your new CL right now.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one right there. But I'm gonna say Primo.
All right, now Vibe.
Even though he rep Texas, he from Texas. Primo's definitely was adopted from.
For sure.
Oh yeah, he's a
Brooklyn sound like no other.
He got that Brooklyn card still.
Yeah.
All right. We gonna give you another one. So Vibe, if I say Midnight Marauders, you say.
Man, I gotta take it back to 1991, man. Low End Theory.
Y'all not fair, B. y'all playing dirty. Low End Theory.
Okay.
Low End Theory.
All right.
Low End Theory was just had a harder knock to it to me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Low End Theory had that knock. Like I thought Tip was really in his groove right there.
He was.
That's close too. That's really close, but I'm gonna go low end on that.
Okay.
All right. So we gonna keep it all the way Brooklyn. Now I see Christopher Wallace all the way in the back. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave him out of this.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna leave him out of this. I'm gonna do it a little different. I'm gonna say Mos Def or Talib Kweli.
Mos Def.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Got you.
And just to get you to elaborate on that a little bit, is it just his skill set? Like, what is it that makes you put him there? Like, I mean, he had more talent in his thumb than a lot of MCs had in their entire body. And is it like, what is it?
When I listen to other MCs or my peers, I gotta believe them, and I believe Mos Def.
Yeah,
I don't always believe Talib.
Yeah.
Although he's a dope MC, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, most just got it, like when it's like when you want to build the perfect MC, you can build a Mos Def, and that'll be a perfect model right there. Most just got it,
he's got the it thing.
Yeah, it's like it's like Biggie. He might have not been the greatest lyricist, but when you talk about the full body embodiment of an MC, how you want to build an MC, like perfect MC, Notorious B.I.G.
Exactly.
No
like
question.
Rap to anything, your cadence, all of that, and most got that. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely got that.
Well, Phil, I want to keep it Brooklyn again since he
Okay.
did that. We gotta kind of go to the Legends edition of that question.
Talk to him.
You know, we talking about knowledge of self. We talking about guys that that often call themselves kings with the Asiatic culture. If I say Big Daddy Kane, Phil, who do you say?
I gotta say that 18th letter, man. I gotta say the R.
That's the $1 million question, though. That's the $1 million question.
But I'm sorry, Kane. This is the only time I'm a have. Listen, I mean, Kane is an incredible MC, but I was truly, the first time I heard Rakim's voice, I don't know if y'all had that same effect, but like the first time I heard Slick Rick's voice, the first time I heard Rakim's voice, it was over for me. I knew that I wanted to MC.
Yeah. What's the first Rakim song you heard?
Man, I came in the door, said it
before.
Yeah, and I heard that like outside in a park. So it was like the voice he sounded like a grown man.
Yeah.
Rhyming, you know what I'm saying? And it was just, oh man, yeah, Rakim. Definitely, bro. But Kane, you are truly a great one, man, and you help to a high standard. But I mean, if I gotta pick one who influenced me to the fullest, Rakim Allah, for real.
Phil had the opportunity to see both of them rock a show together recently this year.
Yeah, earlier this year. Yo, both of them dudes are still amazing. Yo, like I've seen Kane a couple times.
Kane is dope live.
He's incredible. I saw him. It was crazy. I saw him as a 13-year-old. Wow. And then I saw him as a grown man over 20 years later. Right. The same energy, yo.
Yeah, Kane is
the same energy.
I just saw Eric B and Rakim together for the first time.
Yeah.
About a month ago here.
Yeah, I know that was special.
That was dope just to see them together. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen Rock a couple of times, solo.
Yeah.
To see them together, that was pretty dope. So
they're masters, though. They're like masters of the craft. I mean, I don't want to say it's effortless because I know they work at it, but they're such at a high level.
They are.
That it seems effortless.
It is, man. I mean, when you're doing this for that long and you are that particular in how you do your thing, man, you become a master at this.
And it says something when you can still rock a crowd, like because a lot of we know a lot of MCs that are dope lyrically. They can give you a crazy 16. You put them in front of an audience, and it's a snooze fest. Yeah,
well, that's one of the things I judge all my peers on. If you put on a dope show, I consider you a dope artist. Like some people can do an incredible album, and these shows are. I take pride in my shows, man. Y'all get the chance to see a Kil Ripkin show. It's definitely a treat because I take pride in my shows.
Yeah.
And I expect that. I put that high standard on other artists too. Like when I come to your show, I want to be highly entertained. You know what I'm saying? Thoroughly entertained, because that's what it's really all about. It's about the connection, and that's what's going to make me believe you and believe your story. Because every artist got a story to tell, and it's a different story. You feel me?
So just to that point, before we move on to the next one. One thing that Phil and I have noticed, and between the two of us, we've probably been to 1,000 shows, but it's just the preparation I think is lacking sometimes, where the artist, probably if he was just to prepare for it and kind of put a little bit more into that part of it, I think it would come across a little bit more. You see guys a lot of times where they just like, yo, just put on my beat and let me just rhyme over myself. It's like, no, that's not going to get it done, man.
Man, so many people are rhyming over their tracks.
It's the worst.
Sold out shows.
Yeah.
Going over, like, nah, man. I still enjoy rehearsing and going over my set and mastering that set.
But it shows though, like when you see that
show, you will be thoroughly impressed, bro.
No breath control.
They don't take pride in that anymore because it's in the microwave era. and it's about that money. So the quick, you know, as long as they get that money, as long as they get the money, it don't matter about the working of the art anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everything is so fast now. But you know, there's a lot of us that's still holding on to that.
And we appreciate you.
And I mean that, and I salute everybody that do that because they don't get talked about, but there's a lot of MCs that are still holding on to that essence of the culture.
Yeah, man.
And then when I've seen some dope shows, you know, and you know, I'm gonna continue to see some more, I'm sure, because like I said, there's a lot of dope music out right now. But shows is everything, man. And,
it is.
You know,
it really is.
It tells you a lot about the artists, and I've seen a lot of artists. I won't say no names, but they still rhyming over their tracks, and that's just horrible. It's blasphemy.
It's terrible. All right, so we got Primo, we got Low End Theory, we got Mos Def, and we got Rakim Allah. Philmatic, we got to finish strong with these questions, man. What else we got?
All right, let's see where we want to go with this. All right. We go see. I feel like there may be a Brooklyn bias, so I don't want to go there. Let's see where you want to go, Vi.
So I mean,
I got one.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
We mentioned the Wu-Tang, so you got to pick Ray or Ghost.
Oh man. Oh man. Dang. They're like the same though, right? They're like
but you gotta pick.
Ghost. Because you know, I can throw on a Ghost, you know, I could throw on Ghost in the car and just really vibe out. And then Ghost be on that, I don't know, Raekwon is a master. She's a master chef.
Like I said, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah, but oh man, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But Ghost. I would have to go with Ghost, man. I have to go with Ghost.
Yeah, but in your defense, I recently just saw them. They were here for South by Southwest, and they just popped up. It's a quick set. They probably ran through 20 joints in 20 minutes, and the chemistry that they have even now,
unmatched.
It is nothing like it, man.
Unmatched.
It's nothing like it.
Put them live. Ghost puts on a dope show.
Yes.
Ray puts on a good dope show, but they both do it in such different ways.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, here's why I pick Ghost, because me and Ray are a lot alike. So I would like to keep that. I feel like we're a lot alike as far as the way, you know, the styles, the way we approach. You know, if you study Ray, he, you know, a smooth dude. He approaches things real meticulously.
Yeah.
Like that wild card. So I would like that experience to work with that wild card, because this would be the same dynamic. You know,
like that.
Ray and Ghost and Kil. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I pick Ghost, because I feel like, you know, I would bring that same approach as Ray, so we'll have that same dynamic.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
And now we're gonna switch gears a little bit. A little bit earlier, we heard the iconic sports center. So we kind of figure you're a sports fan a little bit.
I am.
Okay, all right. You got on the Nets.
Yeah, I don't like the Nets though.
Okay, all right. So
I don't like no New York teams.
Okay. So we really gonna get into this. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, obviously,
don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we really gonna get into this.
Okay. I thought you was going to ask him the question.
No. We're not gonna. Oh no, this is different. Okay. So
ask the question though, you can ask that one.
You want Phil? You want to ask that one real quick then?
No.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. So you got everybody has the GOAT conversation. So I'm going with Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah, Listen, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. This conversation is over. Jordan, the greatest.
He said, let's
on to the next question.
I don't care what you say.
For Michael Jeffrey.
Let's go home. Shout out to Dirt.
An assassin. Listen, these new dudes today. Look, Bron, you know, Bron is doing his thing. He's a great player. He's soft compared to Jordan. All right. These guys, Jordan was a killer, B. The closest one to Jordan, AI. Okay. As far as like having that killer mentality. I'm a Sixer fan. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me why or how, but I was born a Sixer fan.
Don't ask why I disrespect it. I got it.
Yeah, but yeah, that there's no question there, bro. Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Okay.
And by the way, real quick before you get into it,
he was born in Brooklyn, so you already know.
The Dubs went up 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that though. That's nothing.
And Michael, that he would never let that happen.
Right.
His will was too strong. I agree.
Strong. Too strong.
So when we talk about the 2017-2018 NBA Rookie of the Year, I give you a chance to make the sole vote. What Kil Ripkin says goes down as law. This gentleman will be holding the trophy and having a press conference. I give you a choice between Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell, who had a phenomenal year out there in Utah.
Right.
Put your Sixers bias aside.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of hype, and I believe Ben is all hype right now still. He's a great player, but he's not a great scorer yet. I just thought Donovan had a great, phenomenal year being in Utah, having the team that he had around him. Both of those brothers had a great year, but I gave the nod to Donovan, especially what he did in the playoffs. I think they should count all of those awards till after the season, after the playoffs, so you can really get a good look at the whole resume instead of just certain.
If you're gonna cast your ballot in April and then show who the results were, 10 weeks later, why not wait and just do the vote 10 weeks later?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would make sense.
The NBA is a game of streaks and running.
Right.
So,
there's gonna be a lot of prisoners of the moment because as a Sixers fan, but they rattled off 16 straight to end the season.
They were the heartthrobs of the NBA this year.
Right.
Yeah.
He was back. He brought a certain energy and personality to the team. And the NBA is always looking for the next big three or big two.
Right.
Represent that right now. And if the kid Markelle Fultz, the shooting guard, if he comes back healthy, you know what I'm saying, they can have that next big three or whatever. But I just thought the Utah rookie was a little more thorough to me because he had an all-around game. He dropped 30 on you.
Yeah.
Play D, give you 10.
He got heart too.
Yeah. So I definitely gave it to him.
Okay. Phil, I know you're clamoring to give him a sports question before we move on to the next thing, man. Go ahead, man.
All right. So you said no New York teams.
The Yankees and the Islanders. That's it.
The Islanders. Wow.
You took it to the ice.
The Knicks. And I'm just repping the Nets because they in my borough. You know what I'm saying? But other than that,
I'm from New York and never was a fan of the Knicks.
Nah.
Shout out to L. Oh man! All right, so football.
Well, do you need to ask him who his team is first?
No, I was going to football, so
okay.
I was going to ask you. I'm afraid I don't want to know, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
you must be feeling me there, bro.
Don't say that.
Especially my Philly brethren right here. He's not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I was born with the stars and.
Oh God.
Fan, man.
Look, you can spot him from a mile away.
Yo, I knew it. I knew it
from a mile away, man.
I knew it.
Man. Hey, if you're a Yankee fan, you got to be a Cowboy fan.
I knew it. It's like UJ, LeBron.
Hey.
Oh man, I knew it.
But yo, Phil, you can spot him from a mile away.
A mile away, yo.
Look, they get the little smile on their face. Dudes that don't even really smile, but when you ask them,
one of our favorite people in the world, man. Shout out to the homie King Shams, man. He's from Philly, and he's a Cowboy fan. I mean,
that was like me living in Giant World as a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan either. So, but I'm actually a 49er fan. But
oh Lord,
yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Can you see that?
Oh Lord, Okay.
Yeah, so ask him, Phil.
I got new numbers to call now. Matter of fact, we on the schedule this year too. So I'll be hitting you up, Phil. When we put that smack down. You already know, Mr. Eagle, because I know you flying with the Eagles. Being from Philly.
No. So Phil is the Philadelphia.
I'm from Philly,
native.
but I'm a 49er fan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm repping VA, and I like the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happened, but I do. Actually, I do know. But
yeah.
Now, me and him.
Let me ask you a question, Vibes. Who was your favorite player on the Chiefs? Like, how did you become a Chiefs?
Derek Thomas. If you ask me, he was the greatest defensive player not named Lawrence Taylor.
I agree.
If you ask me that I'll tell you that every day. Lawrence Taylor is the only guy that I'm putting ahead of Derek Thomas, and whatever.
I go to war with you on that one. I agree.
I would put him at the highest. I would put him is 3.
That's fine. I mean,
because I got to put Reggie in there.
I know Reggie's there.
Reggie White was like a special kind of individual.
If we're talking about revolutionizing your position,
no doubt,
in a way that just we hadn't seen before, right. Derek Thomas is right there.
You already know how I feel about DT.
If you look at the linebackers in the last 10 to 15 years, they're a replica of Derek Thomas.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like when you
Von Miller.
Every time you see Von Miller do that bend where you can't, it's like how do you get parallel? That's Derek Thomas.
All DT, no doubt.
Nobody was bending their body like that to get to the quarterback before him.
I watched that dude get 7 sacks in one game and should have got 8, and somehow this little white dude Dave Craig got away from him.
so Derek Thomas, man, he was truly a great one.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace.
When he was drafted, I was 9 years old. I watched the draft. And then I I was just taken away by his skill, man. So
I was a fan of his too, man. I definitely was. I actually, I wouldn't say I was a Chiefs fan, but I would definitely cheer for them, especially with Marcus Allen and Montana was there. You know, they had some great teams, man. I really was cheering for them to make the Super Bowl.
I mean,
I wanted that so bad for them.
We're sympathetic. A lot of people feel sorry for Chiefs and Chiefs fans, so I hear that a lot. So
So what do you think about your QB switch?
Well, I mean, we got the next Aaron Rodgers if you hear people tell it. But I don't, you know,
the next Aaron Rodgers.
If you hear people tell it, they say that you know Pat Mahomes second is in that same vein. Maybe he has.
He got a big gun now.
Yeah. What I will say in terms of the quarterback change. Man, and Phil, obviously, with Alex Smith being drafted by the Niners, he knows a little bit better than me. But man, it was tough watching him for 5 seasons, man.
Yeah, I can imagine, yo.
It's a rough. You know how you say it's a tough listen. It's a rough watch, man.
And mind you, we won more games in that 5-year span than we had in the previous 15 years.
But it felt like you didn't do anything.
Man, it was tough, man.
Yeah, man, especially last year.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was just like
what? They went into the Meadowlands and lost to the 1-8 Giants that were trying to lose games. I said, oh, that's it.
Yeah. But I blame Andy Reid too, bro.
Nah, it's his fault.
It's definitely he's
a control freak. If he could hear us right now,
the egomaniac. He refused to adjust to the times now.
Yeah.
After them first scripted plays, it's tough. For Andy, man, he get all flustered, man.
Yeah,
but let's not get away from the fact that you said that you were a Cowboy.
Yeah, man.
So Phil, let's give him a hard question for that.
All right. So I'm all right. All right. Lifelong Cowboy fan.
Lifelong, born a Cowboy fan. Yo.
All right. So you got to pick one Cowboy to represent for you.
I'm
gonna give you Emmitt Smith. Or I'm gonna give you Tony Dorsett. Who you taking?
I'm gonna go with E, man. I seen E play. I would go to watch a game in Texas pretty much every year. I seen him. I was at the game when he broke the record.
Wow.
I gotta go with E, man.
You mean Arizona Cardinal Emmitt Smith?
I was at the game when he became the all-time leader rusher.
Didn't he do that with the Cardinals though?
No, he did it with the Cowboys the year before.
Okay.
When he broke,
I thought he was a Cardinal.
Nah, when he broke Walter's record, he was on the Cowboys.
Okay.
It was against Seattle. So, I mean, I grew up with that team. You know what I'm saying? I actually, you know.
Yeah, y'all stole 2 chips from me, but I mean.
Yeah, but he said we stole 2 chips. But, yeah, Emmitt Smith. I got to go with Emmitt Smith, man. If I would say my favorite Cowboy or the one who I knew that we couldn't lose or it would be a hard time beating us because of this one player, I would say Michael Irvin. As long as I knew Michael Irvin was healthy and playing, you was gonna have a hard time beating him.
All right, we can agree there because I am a diehard Miami Hurricane fan, so that's my guy. Even though he was kind of dead to me in the pros, all right, here you go.
Mike was a beast, man, and he was a epitome of a leader.
Yeah, he had his issues, but
okay, right. Hey, I asked the question, man.
Who doesn't have the issues?
So, Kil, we definitely appreciate you rocking out with us, answering those questions so candidly and being honest. I know they were kind of tough, but we won't hold any of those against you. There's no right or wrong answer, and now our audience gets to know you just a little bit better, so we appreciate that.
Appreciate y'all, man.
As we head towards the end of our conversation, Phil, let's get some more questions in and
absolutely, man. I want to talk to you about the album a little bit more. I want to what's your writing process when you I know you said this was your first album in a few years, but once you lock in and say, all right, this is happening, what's your writing process like?
Man, it's almost like a zone. It's a place I go to. I call it, I lock into it. And how I write, my process is really long because I really think out my songs. I try not to repeat what I say. I'm a real student of what I've done in the past and what I'm doing now. I really study it. So even in that gap when I wasn't putting out music, I was constantly writing, constantly producing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I never stopped. But with this particular album, there was the song on there called The Blackout.
Yeah.
Once I did that song, I knew I had an album. All right. So once I laid the Blackout, I was like, okay, now this is a foundation for a dope album. And that allowed me to actually use it as like a 12-step ladder. Each song I was able to piggyback or camelback off of that song, The Blackout. Because, the message that I was trying to give in that song was a strong representation of what I was trying to say in the whole album. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, man, I'm not one of those writers that, I love to write on the spot, especially if the beat is that dope and it just hits me. But I love to sit with you send me some beats and they're dope. I love to sit with them because, there's a story that I'm telling. And I want to make sure that I say it in the right way and in the way that it doesn't confuse or offend anybody. And in a way that that it's still hip hop.
Gotcha.
I never want to lose that aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still all about the mic, the turntables, and them speakers. Gotcha. And how you guys interpret it, or how you receive that. Because what you might think is dope, other people might think is whack, and vice versa. So, it's a very thin line when it comes to that. But my writing process is real. It's a serious process, man, because it's not.
Do you get the beats first?
Yeah,
and listen, or do you just write and then just?
It's both. It's both. Sometimes I'll write a bunch of stuff without beats. Just things come in my mind, and I'll get them down, get ideas down. Then when I get the beats, I can start to create and match them up. Build my little Frankenstein. But or most times I have the beat talk to me, and I write off of that. I'll sit down with the beat. I enjoy it. I enjoy that part better than writing first. Like I love for producers to send me the beat and the beat talk to me, and then I can write something back and talk back to it. That's the process that I like. But I take my time with it. I don't rush unless there's a certain deadline on a project that I'm doing, or somebody needs a verse this time or that time. So. Yes, that's a process I take serious. A lot of rappers today, man, they just go in the booth. They do 30 songs a day. I don't know how they do it. I don't know, like they got so much to say, but hip hop again, man.
I got an idea.
Hip hop is something that again, we got to be careful because it influences everybody on this planet.
For sure.
Yeah.
Going into that writing process, tell us about Together. It was a standout track that was on entitled.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you guys put that one together, and that.
Yeah, tour. it's funny because I always be telling people, don't come to me for those type of songs. Like I want to do real hip hop songs. You know what I'm saying? I want to rhyme and talk shit like everybody else. But this song meant a lot to him because that was his cousin on the hook. And, like I said, him and I, we have like a real strong brother relationship. So together, you know what I mean? It was produced by Praise, another dope producer.
Yeah.
And so when he hit me, he was like, yo, I want you to be a part of this project, and here's the joint. I was like, dope, because actually that was one of the songs too that inspired me to get back in the studio. Once I got on that album, I was like, okay, I still could do this, and I still want to do this. You know, it was good to hear myself on a powerful record. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to do songs and they just, you know, because, you know, we have catalogs. A lot of MCs just got a lot of songs and a lot of projects and material laying around. So when I did that, I knew that I was ready to, you know, come back and do this again. So
it sounds like that was a little strategic too, in terms of kind of getting you back into the feel of things, you know.
Yeah, and that's what he said too, and that's exactly what he said, and I was with it because again, that allowed the people who knew, you know, how I do my music, feel comfortable with that song again. So I understood, you know, Tor's a mastermind. He thinks out everything to the very last.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like he's very calculated in what he does, what he do. I could have been on any song on that album, to be honest. And but he chose that one and it worked, and I love it. It's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, he said his verses to me months before I actually laid my verse, and it was very intimidating because I was like, "Damn, this dude is incredible."
Yeah. Well,
you know, he got the 2 verses to my 1.
Yeah,
it was the second verse that did it to me. I'm like, "Damn, what I'm gonna say?" But you know, whenever I'm feeling like that, you know what I'm saying, I always tell myself to just be me.
Right.
And just be myself, and that's what you hear, man.
Yeah,
and he loved it, you know what I'm saying?
And I want to tell you, man, y'all, you helped him win a hippie. That's when we do our year in awards, man. We that was our album of the year for 2016.
Word. I didn't even know that, man. That's dope.
Yeah. So he definitely, for what I feel is one of the best albums in the last few years.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom, yo. Yeah. Production, bars, concepts.
Yeah.
Incredible album. Incredible.
Extremely underrated not by us, but by way too many people.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, as knowing Tor since he was 14, 13 years old, that album, I told him, you can ask him. I told him when he did that album, I said, yeah, now that was one of Torre's first albums that I actually listened to from beginning to end. And he's always been one of my favorite artists. You know, I think that dude is an incredible lyricist. But that album, it was something about Entitled where I knew, you know, as an artist or as anything, any profession you in, you reach that zone, you reach that groove where you know I'm a master at this shit. And I felt like that was his album. He was telling the world like, okay, what else you want me to do? You know what I mean? Especially on the level that we on. Like, that was just dope. That was just a really dope album. And that album inspired me to get back in the studio.
Yeah.
He was actually saying, let's go to, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, big up to Torre for that.
You know it
definitely was definitely a dope record.
Word.
I always like to, you know, match my skills with other great lyricists such as himself. So that was definitely a blessing right there.
So this is the Tissue and the Tape podcast. Again, we are having a conversation with Kil Ripkin, representing CI, Brooklyn, you know, again, Coney Island to be exact, as these guys like to say. But before we let you go, Kil, we got a couple more questions, and of course,
I got all night. Let's do it.
All right, Phil, what else you got, man?
You were talking about like some of your favorite MCs, but this was a super personal project. Like, how did you like there's 17 tracks on here, but it doesn't feel like, you know, we live in the 7-track album. So like getting 17 tracks, you know, like you made like a triple album going by these days, but it didn't feel like that. So, but what I'm getting at is your process. You gave us that. How many songs did you make for the album? Was it specifically D17? Did you make more? Will we get more and more?
I'm calculated too, man. So I never do more than I'm supposed to. I do exactly what I need to. So I knew exactly each song that I wanted to do. So the 17 you got, maybe 2 didn't make it for whatever reason. Maybe 2. But those are the 17 songs that I exactly recorded for the M.O.R album.
Okay.
And then there's other songs that I've recorded probably during that time, but they're for something else. You get what I'm saying? Like I never just record a bunch of songs and then pick from them. They always have a purpose. So like, you know, you guys are one of the first ones to know I got some more heat coming. I'm gonna drop another joint before the year is out, and it's gonna be man.
Okay.
It's gonna be an EP, so I'm gonna condense it. The reason why I did the 17 songs too, my brothers, is because, you know, it's been a minute since I was out.
No, I'm not mad.
I just wanted to hit the people with enough so they could be fed. So now, you know, they can chill a little bit. But I'm about to hit y'all again with some more heat. And this next project, man, is gonna be super incredible because you know, the M.O.R was purposely done to do what is exactly what it's doing, to spark intellect, to spark intelligent questions, and to really just vibe out on some dope hip hop. But the next one is just gonna be beats and bars, and I want to get back to that, you know what I'm saying, without losing who I am, but I definitely want to get back to just straight rhyming, just straight going crazy on beats and showing people that, yeah, I still lyrically can, you know, get it in with the best of them. Not that the M.O.R album didn't do that, but that was a very conceptual album. If you listen to it, I put it together very conceptual, where the next one, you know what I'm saying, is just going to be, you'll see it. I don't want to give too much away, but I do got more heat coming. Yeah, man, stay tuned.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 17 was definitely purposely done.
No doubt. Philmatic, man, we just had an incredible conversation with Kil.
Absolutely.
You know, obviously we're excited to add him to the great list of MCs. Exactly. We want to take this moment right now to actually just thank you and of course extend the invitation for you to come back, man.
I'm with it, bro, and I'm honored. You brothers, man, from the heart, y'all really doing some real shit up there as far as like just keeping hip hop alive. And I don't mean to sound cliche, but when you look at it, man, 10 years from now, they're gonna be saying that you know, certain pantheons within the structure of hip hop is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be surprised if they say, you know, Melly Mel never existed. It was really Eminem.
Right.
This is where hip hop is right now. So we need brothers like us to really put this thing on ice.
That's exactly why we're here, man. We're NFL films for hip hop, yo. So just like how people know who Norm Van Brocklin is, and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we will make sure people know exactly who Grandmaster Caz is and Melly Mel.
Because,
you know what I mean? Because
as popular as hip hop is today, it's also it's almost like animals becoming extinct. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're losing a lot of our pioneers. A lot of them are transitioning. A lot of great artists are leaving us. A lot of it's a crazy moment in hip hop right now, which is why I believe this year 2018 is like, we're gonna look back at this year as being the year that restarted the revolution, so to speak, of hip hop.
Yeah,
because hip hop is revolutionary music.
Exactly.
Hip hop brings changes. Has to changes, you know what I'm saying? And it did that. It did that up until a certain point now. Like, it's very weird now. You agree? Like, it's just weird in hip hop now.
Well, it's cool. It's cool not to know. Like now, like there's so much information and so much access to stuff that's at people's fingertips, and like some of the youngins that we know and respect, they're commenting and reporting on the culture, and they're concentrating on the people that are currently doing their thing, but they still haven't done their research in terms of going back and listening to and being familiar with. Yeah, like I don't want to sit and have a conversation with someone about hip hop if you've never heard Illmatic before, because not only is that, you know, obviously one of the greatest, you know, projects that ever came out, but it's also so easy for you to get. I'm not asking you to go find the white label 12-inch, you know, Spoonie G out in the park. I'm not asking that. You know, like literally everything is out, you know, at your fingertips.
Yeah, man.
And when you tell me that you haven't heard or digested certain projects, I get that. I feel disrespected.
And there's a book about it, and there's a movie about it, and there's a documentary about it, and there's a VH1 special about it. So like, it's so much. There's reissues. I mean, it's on every platform. So like, you know,
I feel so disrespected, and that's happened to me so many times where, you know, guys want to talk hip hop with me, and the first thing I ask about, what's your favorite joint on Illmatic? And they be like, yo, to be honest with you, bro, I ain't even listened to that.
I even heard it.
Ain't nothing else to talk about from there. And until you can listen to that, until we can have a conversation about that we can't talk about
that. That's sad, man.
It's part of the core curriculum, yo.
Right.
That's because Illmatic has got to be one of the probably one of the greatest hip hop albums ever.
Right. So that just goes to speak to where we are right now and what we're trying to do in terms of Tissue and the Tape. Individuals like yourself, like Torre, and you know, everybody that's rocking with y'all. We appreciate you guys, and we feel like the feeling is mutual, and we want to continue to build in the future, my brother.
Well, yo, man, listen, man. I you know, like I said, I'm a real brother, man, and I must extend a family arm to y'all. Like I said, y'all got a brother in me. Or whatever. Anytime I got some new heat, I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Okay.
So y'all can vibe out to it. And I just appreciate the platform, bro. Real talk. You know, anytime anybody in my position get a chance to tell their story and get their music out to other people, man, it's a blessing. So I salute y'all once again from the heart.
Tell the people how they can get in touch with you, how they can listen to your music, everything.
You know, Kil Ripkin at bandcamp.com. Kil Ripkin, Twitter. Just Google the name, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's on Bandcamp. Buy 113 digital downloads or CDs. I was happy because I'm old, so I was happy to see you had a CD up there because I did purchase one.
No doubt.
And I definitely purchased one.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man. You know, CDs. You'd be surprised, bro. People still want CDs. You know, they still.
I'm joking, but I'm not though. I feel like if I spend the money, I should actually be able to hold something in my hand, even if I ain't gonna do nothing but upload it to my computer and put it on my phone.
Man, I still read the credits on CDs and stuff.
Yeah, like that. I like shit like that. Because again, I'm a nerd.
Exactly. You know, I think everybody in hip hop are nerds to a certain extent.
For sure.
It started off nerdy. It had its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, man. Again, y'all, I appreciate the platform.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to everybody that's supporting Kil Ripkin. Shout out to everybody that's supporting Internal Affairs and what we doing and you know, up there, man. We gonna be bringing some more dope music out this year. Be on the lookout. Check out the new video I got out, The Blackout, off the Medulla Oblongata album. I got some more videos coming out, man. I got a lot of visuals coming. I got more projects coming. You know, it's just gonna be a big ending of the year for me, man. I appreciate again the platform. I got the Kil Ripkin Pandora radio station. Y'all can check that out.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Got vibes on there, you know, different vibrations on there too, man. So I'm just getting my feet wet again, bro. Getting back out here. It's a little culture shock because it's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's different from, you know, even when me and Tor was in the group, the Coalescence, it was different. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, he told us about that. Okay.
And, you know, so that's really what sparked us. That's really what sparked Torre's solo career. And I had moved down to North Carolina, so you know, the group had kind of went their ways after that, but we were co-signed by Premier. That's what kind of like put us on the map. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's different from that time to now. So I'm still, you know, working through the cobwebs and learning from brothers like y'all how this thing is working now, man. Yeah. I'm gonna keep doing my part and making that dope ass music.
Well, listen, anything that we can do, we also would like to extend that hand to you as well. And you mentioned playing in Asia. We at least we could throw it out there in the atmosphere and see what happens, man. I would love to hear you guys on a track together.
Yeah, that would just feel right.
See you planet. Holla at me, God. Real talk. Asia, holla at me, man. I respect your work, man. Hopefully the feeling is mutual and we can sit down and get some things done. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can mend that, you know, make that bridge connect, and that'll be all the better.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to make connections and build new friendships and relationships, because without that, you know what I'm saying, the hip hop will remain very stagnated and people would think that it's just that. You know what I'm saying? Without guys like you, they wouldn't know about Planet Asia. You know what I'm saying? Certain aspects of the hip hop community, you know what I'm saying? So you know, I do because I'm tapped into that, but there's a lot of people who don't know about him and other artists like him. So again, man, y'all keep doing y'all thing. Holla at me anytime. Vibe, Phil, man. You know, enough respect to y'all, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, Kil Ripkin. Salute.
Yeah. Salute.
All right, till next time, brother. Peace.
To the minds meet again. Peace and love to y'all, man.
Thank you.
One.
Yes, Vibe.
So once again, man, just adding another voice, another
one,
another force of energy to the cipher, man. And you know, we talk to Brooklyn MCs a lot.
Yeah, man. Hey, yo, Brooklyn is like our it's like our home base. You know, like you know how when politicians say this is my base.
Yeah.
Like Brooklyn is our base, man.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. If you look at it, I mean, we're definitely in the double digits as far as Brooklyn MCs, as far as guests. So again, man, we appreciate all the guests, all the listeners, all the supporters that are rocking with us. Just some of the things that we've seen here recently are just making us work extra hard to try to just make sure that we build our brand and get our platform to what it is, so that we can have individuals such as Kil Ripkin, such as King Shamps, such as, you know, Del P, you know, just get to the point where they need to be.
Jamel Honesty, RJ Payne,
Davis.
Yeah. Oh, you know, love Davis.
Exactly, man. So you know, we appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. And we're gonna continue to do this thing. tissueandthetape.com coming soon, for real. Definitely
for real.
You know, appreciate you, Philmatic, for everything, and
right
man,
back at you, brother.
You know, man, on that note, man, take us out with the fader.
Okay, gang. I mean, ain't no more to say, man. You know what it is. Tissue and the Tape, home of the MC. We work for the money, we live for the love, and we die for what we believe in. This is Tissue and the Tape. Please respect Heat Holderz.